What's up? What is up, guys? It is episode numero 60, and we're going to be talking about some marketing stuff on this episode. We're talking about we'll probably talk about a few different platforms. I think you got a few experience on a couple different platforms. No, a little bit
Couple
here and
different.
there.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
We'll go on Facebook, but starting first on that, we've done a lot on the mindset aspect before we're leading into any of the marketing. And I think perfect place to start that is using probably the most diverse and profitable platform that is out right now,
Powerful.
which is Facebook. And so regardless to whatever it is that you're promoting, whatever business that you're in, whatever whatever audience you're trying to build or anything, Facebook being like the number one platform to start on. One, they just have way too many data points. The amount of the detailed targeting that you can get into, the amount of reach that you can get into, and it's really second to none right now with the ability that what you can do, and especially when you get all of the detailed targeting down and you know exactly who your audience is. Where when I talk to most business owners, they already know. Like I know the majority of my customers are this age from this age. They probably are in a certain area. They know your avatar, right? And once you know your avatar. And even if you don't know your avatar, it's very easy to be able to find that out based on your content and your audience insights in Facebook.
The data that you pull from it is crazy. It's so funny. Right when we started this, it reminded me of that time where they were going after Zuckerberg for Facebook and stuff. And then they go, he asked him, he goes, so I don't understand, like how is it such a profitable company? He's like, we run ads, Senator. We run ads on the platform. Oh.
Yeah, so. It was really crazy. When I first got introduced to it, when I first got into business, it was through like affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing, and I had zero experience with any type of paid advertising at all. I assumed that people were just going to find me, or I was going to just I don't know what I thought, that people were just going to come to me. But when it really comes down to it, one of the biggest things that you can learn, and we'll probably go into in greater detail as we continue to do more episodes, but one of the biggest things is when you can figure out exactly, one, how much your customer is worth to you. So say, for example, if you can figure out my customer to me is worth $500 or it's worth $1,000 per customer or whatever it might be, well, if you can go on Facebook and put out detailed targeted ads and a proper content strategy and acquire those customers that are worth $500, but you can acquire them for $100, right? It's basically like having the greatest vending machine of your life, where you put $1 in, and every dollar you put in, $5 come out. You have unlimited cash flow. If you knew that every dollar you put in, you could get $5 back. How many times you put in $1 in that machine? Yeah, over and over and over and over again. And so that's what we really get access to when you have the ability to go and market on Facebook. For one, you have everyone you know is on Facebook, and there's a lot of people that debate saying like, oh, my audience isn't there or whatever. Bullshit. They're there. And it's the cheapest way, as it is right now, to this date, whatever date we are on right now, like October, whatever it is.
2018.
Of 2018.
It's 10th, 9th,
10th, as we're recording this, right? It's not only one of the cheapest platforms, it's by far the most detailed targeted. You can target very, very specifically. Their algorithms are really insane. Even if you leave it broad, like they'll find people that are interacting on your stuff. And it's like the amount of tools and resources you have with them, it really can, that will set you to build a solid foundation. And I'm not saying don't go to other platforms. I'm just saying start with Facebook, and then you can move on to Instagram and YouTube and Snapchat and all these other platforms. But your main piece, especially if right now, if you're not leveraging social media at all, first step, set up a Facebook fan page. Super easy to do. Maybe we even just go into that. Like if we're to assume right now that someone's never been on Facebook before.
Yeah, doesn't even know about that universe that exists, because like when I didn't understand that until literally 2 years ago. And once I dove into it, and like there's a whole other platform behind the platform, right? Just with the business manager and ads manager and just the data points and these pixel things that were just like this fairy dust. I got a great story on that one day. I'm sure you'll hear that. But like pixels on how powerful it is on tracking the people that are going through, clicking on your website or accessing a certain through a certain link or whatnot, and how it's able to take those people and put them into a bucket and find more people that are like very similar to that person based on all these data points. I thought it was 60 some data points. I just found it was like over 2,000 data points.
Yep.
And being able to grab them and throw them into the same bucket. And you create this universe that you can market to and curate and build a culture with. Facebook, man, is fire.
So let's assume that you haven't been on Facebook, just because we haven't spoke on Facebook yet. So I just want to make sure that we don't leave any gaps. And so I'm going to assume that you have not at this point created a Facebook fan page. You don't have a business manager account, right? So if we were to go into they're brand new, they're marketing a shoe store, right? Or I always bring up yoga. I don't know why.
I know you love yoga,
I always bring up yoga, right? A yoga store, a fitness store, you're a personal trainer, or whatever it is that you're selling. It doesn't matter what you're selling, right? But you've never been on Facebook. So first thing starting is getting your Facebook fan page set up, getting a business manager account, and linking those to there. Now, right out of the gate, it's not something that you want to just jump in, start running ads, and directly start taking people outside of Facebook. So if we're going to start with Facebook, let's first go into like the...
Might even be good to build a little bit of context around why. Like if somebody's new getting into this and you're listening to this right now and you don't have a Facebook fan page, even going to the place on like kind of showing some context on why it's so powerful and just the dollar value. Like, for example, I was talking with my dad the other day.
Yeah.
And he grew a very successful offline business.
Yep.
Selling snowmobiles and dirt bikes and everything.
Yep. And
he's talking about advertising on, he used to pay for like a, whatever it was, like a 1-inch by 3-inch advertisement in a magazine. That was, it was in, so in British Columbia, it was in the interior of BC.
Yep.
And it was $1,500 for this ad.
Yep.
Right. And just being able to track and understand where those people are coming from.
Yeah.
Because he would put that ad out there.
Yep.
And to figure out if it was actually, like, if he got a new customer, how to figure out how to understand if he acquired that customer from that advertisement or not.
Yeah.
Was very, very, very difficult without like really pinning that person down that just came in and like drilling him, like, putting him on a lie detector test and be like, how did you get here? Did you see this advertisement? And like not saying it outright so you can like feel it out, right? So what he had to do is he'd have to do like, 10% off or 20% off. You buy a new snowmobile, you get a new helmet and this, that, and the other. And the only people that would get access to that were people that would see that ad, and he couldn't tell anybody else about it.
Yeah.
And with these ads, he was stretching out 500, 600 kilometers either end in a diameter with from his business.
Yep.
And finding out with those over time, like it's next to impossible to track. And then having people that are local that catch wind that this is in there, and they're just all pulling out the magazines and cutting out the magazines to get free helmets.
Yeah.
Right. So the power just alone on understanding the context behind Facebook on how you can track that person from start to finish and know exactly where they came from, exactly what campaign was created, exactly what advertisement, down to a pin.
Yeah.
Right. And the power behind that, and seeing the exact number on how much it cost you to acquire that customer.
Yep. Exactly. Right. So I think that's a big piece, and that's great that you brought that up, because normally, like say before social media, before the internet, right, that's what you relied on. Yeah. Magazine ads, newspaper ads, billboards, radio, all this shit. And more often than not, people started getting smart and giving discounts so they can know, okay, this discount came from there. Yeah. But more often than not, you're spending money and have no fucking clue where your customers are coming from. So one, you have no idea where your fucking customers are coming from. You have no idea how much it costs to acquire your customer. And so if you don't know those numbers, you can't scale, right? No. You can't go buy 10 more magazine ads if you don't even know if that magazine ad was the thing that generated the customer.
Yeah, and how many customers actually want to fill out a survey and check off, how did you hear from us?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Most
it's not mandatory? No, thanks.
Yeah, fuck that. I never do it.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Never. I'm lazy, bro.
Facebook's got my heart.
People are lazy. So one, that's where normally when it looked at. So really when it comes down to it, big things that we got to know. One, we need to know how much a customer is worth. What is our customer lifetime value, our CLV? Okay, very, very important stat to know. When I acquire a customer, on average, so easy way to find out this number, you take all of the customers that you've ever had. So say I made $100,000, right, and I had 1,000 customers, right? I would know every customer to me is worth $100, right? So if I had 1,000 customers and I made 100,000. right? I would know every customer is worth $100. That would be the number that I worth. So if they're worth $100, I really can't afford to spend $100. Like, I have to spend less than that $100. Right? So when we know that number, we know our CLV, right? We know how much a customer is worth to us. We now can look at, okay, how much can we afford to spend to acquire that customer? So I always go based off, because usually in our numbers with affiliate campaigns that we run, we're usually looking at around $1,000 CLV. So we're looking at $1,000 customer lifetime value. Now, that doesn't mean one off the second that person buys something, but for the lifetime of that customer.
Right.
Okay, so if we understand that, and we know we have $1,000 that each customer is worth, we now can go and spend, up to $500 really when it comes down to it. Even if you knew every dollar made you $2, right? Yeah. Of course, we want to get it below that, but we know that, especially when we're starting, even in the beginning, if we know that our customer lifetime value is 1,000, we can afford to spend, even at the beginning, up to 1,000, right? Really, and even break even, because we know we're going to dial those numbers down later, but we don't want to be spending over that, right? And so we want to get that in a key point. We want to be making, 1 to 3 is a really good number, especially at scale. Of course, there are some campaigns you can get every dollar makes 5, every dollar makes 10, when you get some unicorns out there, but let's say, for example, every dollar makes you 3. So that would mean for $1,000 customer, a customer that to me is worth, on average, 1,000. So to put this in context, okay, if my product is 1,000, right? If I'm selling and that's all I have is $1,000 product or $1,000 service, right? It's not that every customer to me is worth $1,000, right? That's because not every person that comes in is buying it for one. Right. They might buy other ones. And so it's finding out what's the total amount that I've earned divided by the total amount of customers. That will tell you what your average is, customer lifetime value. So beforehand, one, we didn't know where the customers were coming from if you're using billboards or magazine ads and all this other stuff. Yep. Two, you don't know what the cost was to acquire that customer because you have no fucking clue where it came from. And so big pieces of Facebook, you know exactly where your customer came from. You know exactly what ad they saw. You know exactly what page they opted into or what sales video they went to or any of that. And you know how much it cost for you to acquire that customer. And you know, of course, doing your own numbers, how much that customer is worth to you. So where this can get really fun, again, when we go back to the amazing vending machine that you put $1 and you get $3 out, that's ultimately that's what we're looking for, is how do we create that? Now, of course, with different business models, you're going to run into a few different things. There's going to be different styles of campaigns. There's going to be different content strategies. But let's talk about fundamental principles, because we want to be able to talk about stuff that's going to be applicable to everything. If we do get a lot of feedback in a certain niche where people are talking about, or niche, however you want to call it, I believe it actually is niche. I like niche. Marketers call it niche.
Niche.
For whatever reason.
There's no T in there, right? It's niche.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tomato.
Yeah, tomato, potato, buddy.
Potatoes.
So if we know that, and we know that, basically, let's talk fundamental principles. So regardless to what you're doing, everyone be on Facebook, okay? And just to give you context of what we like virtually. You know what? Everything's been on Facebook pretty much. Virtually, probably 90% of all of our sales. So we look at between me and Aaron combined and Jay-Z and everything all together, plus over $50 million in sales, all contributed from Facebook. When we look at everything from the whole community and everything that we've run. So we got quite a bit of data that we've run on Facebook, especially in the affiliate marketing space. I've worked with quite a few other clients in different spaces as well. We'll talk about fundamental principles that can be applied to anything. So regardless to what space you're in, be on Facebook, set up a fan page, get your business manager set up. Super easy to do. And you can start with as little as $5 a day. You don't need a massive marketing budget, especially when you're first testing things and getting out. Now, the big thing, this isn't like a magazine ad. You can just go throw $2,500 on it, right? Write it up, throw $2,500 at it, and hope that something happens. Yeah. Right? Quite a bit different when you get onto Facebook, okay? You're not just going and throwing $1,500 on an ad, right? The biggest thing that we do in Facebook is split testing, right? So we want to be making sure that we're not just going and trying one thing and then it doesn't work and then we try one more thing. We take more of a shotgun approach. And so when you're split testing on Facebook, and I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm going to talk about this part just and then we'll go back. So basically, just so you guys when you're split testing on Facebook, you want to make sure that whatever you change. So obviously, when you're running a Facebook ad, right? If you guys look inside of your newsfeed and you see any of those sponsored posts, you'll see that either it's got a picture and then long written story, right? So that's one type. And in that variable, the picture being the creative, the write-up being your copy, right? Those are two big pieces to be split testing, right? So then you also have your audience, so the age, the demographics, the interests that people have. And when you're going through and you're doing all of this type of targeting, the biggest thing for you to have true data and to be able to know what's working and what's not is you only split test one variable at a time. So I'll give you a little bit of an example. Is like you go say they're 25 years old, male and female, live in North America, and you leave it broad, right? So let's just say that just to keep the audience easy, right? And then it's a little bit of copy and a video, okay? So you write, a couple sentences in a video. So the different variables here are one, the video, right? The creative being probably the most important, copy probably being close second to that. So let's say video, you would create 4 of like the exact same ads. So same audience, same age, same demographic, same location, same interest, same copy, 4 different videos. Yeah. So if you run those 4 ads, if one of those videos performs, it doesn't have to be the $1 makes me 3, but whatever performs the best, right? Whatever's getting you the cheapest video views, whatever's getting you the cheapest leads or the cheapest sales, right? Or whatever your metric is that you're going for at the time, right? So you're going for that. You now know, okay, that video performed the best. Now I shut down the other 3. I keep that winning video. Now I do the exact same thing. I keep all variables constant except for the copy. Yeah. And I do 4 different copies. Right? And I can make that out. And now I can find, okay, let the market tell you. We don't know what's going to work. And we never do. Yeah. We come up with a shotgun approach. We put it out to the marketplace. And the market dictates and tells us this works or this doesn't work. Right? And so now all of a sudden we got the best video. Then we test 4 different copies. Now we got the best copy. Then we test 4 different age ranges. Now we have the best age range. Then we test 4 different interests. We find the best interest. So you see what I'm saying? You leave all the variables the same. And then you pick one variable and you make 4 variations of it so that based on the data that comes back, this one works better than these 3. So I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to move to the next variable. So I did jump ahead a little bit there. Now, the reason why I wanted to go into that is to keep, so now you can understand, it's not that when I go and create an ad or when Aaron goes and creates an ad that we just know what's going to work.
No.
We never do, right? We never know what's going to work. We literally put different ideas that we think might work and we let the market tell us. And it might tell us that all of them suck.
Yeah, usually what happens, anytime I've done big split tests, I'll do like four videos, and I'll have one video where I'm just so calm. I'm like, this is the one, man. This is the one that's going to hit it. And then I'll run it out there. And I'll be like, but I'm just going to make sure I split test all these other ones with it. And then I find out it was the shittiest one out of all 4.
Every time.
It's like, what the?
Every time.
That's why we split test. Okay.
And so that's a very great point. And that happens for me, all of it.
Well, because we're our biggest critics sometimes. So on the opposite side, but sometimes we're like, we just don't see the big picture too. We get so zoned in on one topic or one thing that we want to get across with an advertisement, whatever our end result is. And then the audience is just like, doesn't really give a shit. They just care about something that happened in the beginning that caught their attention or whatever it is, right?
They don't give a fuck what you think. And so this is the big part of like when you're marketing, you got to kind of check your ego and check what you think is going to work to the side, because none of us fucking know. Mm-hmm. And we can't know it.
We'll have a general idea and general templates and general baselines on like making sure that you catch somebody's attention within 3 to 5 seconds or 5 to 7 seconds, having your main context with it, and then having something that's a call to action to direct them to do something. So we have the baseline of it, but when it comes down to the overview, that's where it comes down to. You're never going to know exactly every single piece. That you can't just go out and shoot one ad and just be like, yep, that's going to be the winner.
Yep.
Right?
You can't. So let the market tell you, let the audience tell you, and it'll tell you right away. So the best part about it is you don't need to know all the answers.
Yeah, you don't have to go throw it in a magazine and then be like, shit, I hope they pull that copy down soon because that ad bombed it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you just look and it's like a day 1, day 2, day 3. Yeah, that's not working. You just pull it down.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
You're not. It's not a huge commitment.
Right. And so so ideology, right? Like imagine, so for example, like if you put up, and I'm just going to say 10 is an easy number. You put 10 split tests at $5 each, right? And at the end of $5, you can pretty much tell whether that ad's going to be converting or not. You can even do less than that, but it's like $5. So you have 10 ads at $5 each. And even if 9 of those ads don't fucking work and none of them work, the one ad that does, right? That one ad that does, so $45 was spent getting you data. It's not wasted money. It showed you what didn't work, right? That 1/10 one, or whatever one it ends up being, that does work can be the ad that $1 makes you 3, $1 makes you 5, and you scale that one up. Okay, so what's great about this, you don't need to know everything, right? You need to know the framework of the type of content to put out. Obviously, you need to have call to actions. There's certain components that you want to have in here, but you don't need to know exactly what one's going to work. You're way better off in trying multiple videos, multiple copies, and split testing them against each other. And the data will tell you what works, and it makes it way, way, way easier on you, because when you do like what you're suggesting, where you go like, this is the one, and then it's not the one.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to beat yourself up over it. Understand and know
Getting it emotionally attached.
At least 9 out of 10 of your ads aren't going to work. That's why you split test small and you scale big. Okay, so we got a bit ahead of ourselves on split testing, but make sure that you jot that part down before you even get to this point. Okay, when we're talking about setting up your fan page, setting up your business manager account, one of the big components before you start anything and what Facebook wants to see is they want to see you spend, and I'm with Bailey on there last night. They want to see you spend at least $50. So you got to spend at least $50 not directing people outside of Facebook. So let's think about the methodology, or like the concept of how Facebook works. How do they make their money? They make their money on basically how long people stay on the platform, right? Is basically how many more ads they can serve those people, and they can make more money. So all they want to do, how do I keep people on Facebook as long as possible? And how do I make sure that while they're on Facebook that they're having a good time? That's it. That's really all they care about. And so in the beginning, when we're spending our first $50, we are keeping people on Facebook. We are not directing them to any external links. We are aiming to just provide value. So if you run a shoe store, you might be showcasing some of the unique shoes that you have and different offerings, and why your shoes are better, and your vision behind why it, and your personal philosophies on it, your story on it, that type of stuff. People buy from people they like, know, and trust. And especially
and brands they like, know, and trust.
100%. So it's getting to be more and more and more a value-based platform. You know, when we first started running Facebook ads, I could run straight to a capture page, straight to a webinar, straight to a sales video, and it would convert really, really well. And it worked really well. But then all of a sudden, everyone starts running stuff. So it's a noisy marketplace now, right? So how do you differentiate yourself from everyone else there? Is you provide a continuous amount of value on the front. You allow people to see you over and over and over again. And so if you're a personal trainer, you can do little fitness tips. And like the best thing you can be doing right now is minute-long videos. And you take, I know it sounds short, but you do minute-long videos. You make them square. So you're doing like 1080 by 1080, right? And you're doing minute-long videos. And you're basically running little value by saying, here's one little exercise that I do that, you know, upped my bench press, that upped my this, or whatever it is. If you're a fitness trainer, or if you're an artist, you know, here's how I was able to create X, Y, and Z, or whatever it might be. But you're giving away value-based stuff that are tangible, actionable things that people can take away. So big pieces that we want to do front-facing in the beginning: personal philosophies, personal story, your why. Like, why do you do what you do? Why are you a personal fitness trainer? Why are you an artist selling artwork? Why do you own a yoga studio? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I think it's really, really important to always be starting with why. If you haven't read the book by Simon Sinek, Start With Why, definitely highly recommend that. But basically, your personal stories, personal philosophies, testimonials, your reason why you started in the first place, why you do what you do. This is stuff that's magnetizing. This is the stuff that's going to attract your audience to you. And it's very important, especially as you're establishing the foundation for your fan page, to be putting out a lot of content like this, so that people are just coming to see your page because they're getting valuable content from there. And value doesn't always need to be training, right?
No, there's tons of different types of value. Like, really coming down to it, you need, well, you don't need, but best ways to do it on strategy side is really just giving people, whether it's like how-to tips on how to use your product or your service that you have, bringing value that's entertaining, bringing humor-based stuff.
Yeah.
Bringing fact-based things on teaching people different things and not expecting anything in return.
Yep.
And that's really what it comes down to with a lot of the any marketplace really now, is just giving those people something with no expectation of anything in return. And by doing that, you're building that you're building that knowing, you're building that trust, and then you're showing them a reason why they should be purchasing your product or purchasing your service, right? Because when we do blast stuff out and all of a sudden they just see this ad about this new t-shirt or that you're a fitness trainer, well, guess what? There's a lot of fitness trainers out there, and why don't they just go to their local gym? Why should they hire you, right, to teach them yoga online when they can go find somebody locally?
Yeah.
Well, show them something valuable. Show them your qualifications. Show them what you have that somebody else doesn't have. Show them how it's going to be more beneficial to them to use you over somebody else, rather than just asking for a call to action, asking for a sale over and over before they even know who you are.
Yeah, a great book that dissects this a lot. Gary did a really good book on jab, 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 right hook. Jab being providing value, right hook being asking for a close or asking for a sale. Where you jab 3 times, if not more now, more times where you're giving value, 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 value. Now when you come with an offer to, pay for a fitness training session, or come in to join one of our yoga classes, or come buy one of our pieces of artwork, right? You've had so much value from that person or that brand. You've built up a rapport, a trust in that brand. And now, of course, you're going to be able to go and buy it. Yeah. People relate to, again, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So I think that's a really fundamental key part that you express. And you allow yourself to really share. People buy from people they like, know, and trust, and they buy from brands they like, know, and trust. So sharing the reason why the brand exists, why you do what you do, going into your personal stories, your personal philosophies, really what you're doing is building influence. When people start to see that, hey, every time I see a video of Aaron, I'm learning about this, he's teaching me this, he's showing me how to do this, I also get to experience really cool things that he goes and does, and I just fucking love this dude. Now when you put up an offer, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what he's selling yet, but whatever he's got, I want it.
Yeah.
Right? Because they just see who you are and you build that influence. And the cool thing about that as an entrepreneur is, as we build that influence bigger and bigger and build that rapport and that know, and trust with people, and that audience grows, and we can cultivate that audience and bring them value with no expectation of anything in return, and it keeps flowing that way.
Yep.
They want to follow you. They want to see what you're doing. They want to, and just for example, those big, use Oprah Winfrey, for example.
Yep.
This brand that she's built, this influence that she's created. I mean, obviously it didn't start on social media and Facebook.
Yeah.
But I mean, she could jump on there right now and launch any product or any service she wanted to, and she'd be the top producer in whatever niche or whatever business.
Yeah.
Because of that influence, because people like, know, and trust her so much.
Yeah.
Because she brings so much value. And here's a car for you, and a car for you, and here's a blue whale for you. But the point is of just building that, and it's really cool with how you can. Going back to the reason of why Facebook is so powerful, is you can build and cultivate these audiences and retarget the people that are actually fucking interested, right? Rather than offline or lots of other platforms where you're just putting stuff out there and, newspaper or radio ads, you're hitting a huge marketplace, whether it's any sort of offline aspect. You can't really pin down and hone in on the specific people that actually want to see your shit.
Yeah.
Where with Facebook, as it grows and as you build an audience and as you get that data back, you can literally retarget the people that actually paid attention to your advertisement, actually clicked on it, actually watched the video 100%.
Yeah.
And now you can build this influence, this separate little world, this separate little universe of people in there, and you can be there in front of them all the time. And be able to bring that value all the time, and there's so much power in that.
Yeah,
right?
huge,
comparatively.
Huge. And so when you look at Facebook or any type of platform, when you look at it, your income is going to be directly proportionate to the amount of value that you provide to the marketplace. So I'll give you guys a couple contexts just so you guys can kind of see in different spaces, aside from affiliate marketing, what we do, whether, from working with multiple different clients and knowing a lot of friends that deal with more client work at agencies and stuff. If we were to look at, say, for example, let's say, you know what? I like using the music example. Let's use that one because it's just something that's just a random thing. So say, for example, I got my cousin right now that's just about to get signed. He's flying out to Toronto to speak with
killing the game.
Empire label or whatever. They're flying him out, signing it. He's doing a great job. So like content marketing strategy that we can do, right? For music, right?
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris Jang.
Go check him out.
Chris Jang, make sure you check him out. Absolutely.
Yeah, he is killing it, man. I'm stoked with
he's going to be making some big moves. So you'll probably see, and maybe at the point of you seeing this podcast, you might be seeing this stuff. So how I would roll it out, right? He's brand new. He's got no audience. So his product, right, is his music. Right. So you go and take of all of his songs. So say, for example, you go and you take 6 of your top, like no one knows your songs yet. You haven't released anything. So you take 6 of your top songs, right? You go and put them into an EP that you release to people for free. And so
what does EP stand for?
Honestly, I don't know.
It's been screwing with me for a long time, man.
I have no idea.
But it sounds cool.
But it's called an EP, I guess.
It's great.
So you do this. And so what you could do, like on the marketing side, right? Your product is your music. So what you do, you take 6 of your best songs, right? You put them into a Dropbox or something or whatever you can do to give people for free. And what you do is you take the best one and you go make a music video on it, right? Content is king and videos are just being favored on pretty much every platform right now, Facebook especially. So you take the one music video, right? And of the best song, you take the one music video of the best song and you go, hey, love this song. Download the EP for free. Use this link, right? And so now all of a sudden they see the song, they love the song. You could target, if it's an industry that's very different or a genre of music that's like Drake, and you go target people that like Drake, that are this age, that you know what I mean, like
that live in this area,
boom, you have the exact audience
and
right there.
And also like Scottish fold cats,
right? Whatever,
literally,
whatever it might be, right? And now all of a sudden you've got an exact audience. You show them something that they like. It's already in the genre that they love. They go, "Wow, I love this." You go, "Great, click this link or whatever." And now you get their name, phone number, and email, and you give them that EP for free. Now a lot of people are like, "Well, cool. Where do I make money there?" Well, the value in that is building the list. So the strategy to that would be you're giving away so much value for there. You're giving them 6 songs for free. They didn't have to pay a single thing. They already saw your music video. Obviously, your content has to be good, your video has to be good, your song has to be good, right? As long as those all boxes get checked, right? They've downloaded. Now you got 10,000, 100,000 leads that are all on an email list that have all opted in because they love your music and they want more of it for free. And now all of a sudden you go and you release one song on iTunes for $1 and you mail your list of 100,000 people and maybe only 1% of them buy it and you just made $1,000, right? It's like at the lowest end. Right. And so there's so many different ways. It could be your personal trainer and you go and you do a lot of these minute-long clips and it's showing little exercise you do here, little meal plan you do here, how you structure your workout, all these different things. And your little 2-minute videos that you put a bunch out. And then all of a sudden after that, you watch this one video. You put out, say you had 10 videos on 10 different types of things. So some were teaching exercises, some were teaching diet, some were teaching it could be anything. So a bunch of different topics, stretching, all these different things, right? But you put 10 videos out, right? You put $1 a day on each one. You find out, okay, this one of those 10 is getting me the cheapest video views and clearly someone likes it. Great. Now I'm going to double down on that one. And that's where I'm going to build that audience. So now that one I'm going to spend money on, and now I'm going to get to 10,000, 50,000 views, 100,000 views, whatever it might be, depending on the scale, right? So say it's 10,000 views, right? And now I can go and like what Aaron was saying, I go and you now can build a custom audience based on people who watched 25% of this video, 50% of this video, the whole video. I would probably say 25 to 50%. At the beginning, you can probably start with 25 and go, people who've watched 25% of this video now see another value-based video that I put out, right? And then they go and see that a while, right? And so now if they've watched the second video, it's only because they watched 25% of your first one. Now they watch the second one. Now you go, people who watch 25% of the second video see this other one. So now they like your content because they've proven it by watching at least part of it. Now you're hitting them with another piece. You're hitting them with another piece. They're going, holy shit, Aaron's teaching me all this shit that I just love. I'm learning about diet. I'm learning about stretching. I'm learning about different exercises I can do. I'm figuring out how to structure my workouts and different things. All these different things. Now all of a sudden, Aaron goes, hey, you know what? Now what I'll do is I'll actually give you 50% off a workout session with me. Yeah. Or It could be so many different things, but you have some sort of offer, but you didn't just come from the offer out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You've set context. You've talked to them about even beforehand of like not only things that you're teaching, why you even got into the space, why you do this in the first place, why I became a personal trainer, personal philosophies on fitness that you have. And so as people start to like and relate to that stuff, the only people that are going to see your ad are people that have watched it consistently. They got to know you. They really start to like you. And now they're like, hell yeah, I want to be trained by this dude. And no, you know, maybe it's you're in a local area and you're targeting people that are in Vancouver, BC, and you're trying to get them to your gym specifically to train with you. Or maybe it is that you have a personal training course and you go through all your 12-week workout plan with a diet that matches up with it.
And something really cool with that too, I got a frog hanging out in my throat, I think. Something really cool with that too, though, is, you know, and this is an objection that I've had with people that I've, you know, like gave some coaching to as well.
Yep.
And they go, well, I don't like, if I start giving them all this value for free, you know, like I want to be able to make money off this kind of stuff. Well, the cool side about that is, and I was talking to somebody that's built out a coaching, like sales training.
Yep.
Right. And I was like, well, take your fucking sales training.
Yeah.
And cut pieces out of your sales training, right? And teach it for free, and put it out in Facebook and put it out to your audience, create an audience around it. And you're basically giving them like 80-90% of everything that you teach and charge for. You give it all for free, right? And they have all access to all of it, even though it's not in sequential order. It's stacked all over the place, just little value pieces here and there and different little, you know, strategies and principles and points that you have. And then it's like, now you can package it all together and you can be like, actually, I have this whole package all together with, you know, 10 modules with all these lessons breaking down from start to finish, plus this, plus that, plus this, plus that. And I have it all structured in place. Well, people are going to be paying for it now because they're so future paced into it and they see how much value that you have, even though you gave them most of what you have in your training. But now you're actually taking it and you're putting it in a nice little package, putting a present on it and saying, here you go for, you know, $97 a month or whatever it is, or $997, or, you know, $9,997. Here's my training platform. Yep. Meanwhile, if they took the time, they could probably pull almost all of it out from your training that you put out for free. But because it was so scattered and you package it up, they're like, fuck yeah, I'll pay for that.
Absolutely. And you provided enough. And this is the thing is like, and of course, there's going to be things that you can only tie to it when you get into the core. You know what I mean? So it's not about, like, so many people are like, well, but I charge for that. And this is the thing is like, again, your income is directly proportionate to the amount of value that you can provide at the marketplace. So when you can take the concept of that and you start just genuinely going out with the expectation of serving, how can I serve? How can I make sure that, how can I give them things that they can actually take action on right now? And how can I build rapport? So how can I let them get to know me? You know what I mean? And that means like if I'm a personal trainer, but I, you know, maybe it's my story was I used to be fat. And you know what? I used to be so fat. I hated my weight. I hated looking in the mirror. I felt so disgusted in myself. And there was nothing I could do to get over it. There was nothing I could do. And I ended up finally finding this fitness trainer, and he got me on the right diet. He got me on this. My confidence went up. So like letting them know your story and like being vulnerable, being vulnerable and talking about, you know, a lot of people don't want to talk about the vulnerable shit, but it's real. You know what I mean? Your life isn't just fucking unicorns and rainbows all the time. You know, talk about the real shit. Talk about the shit that you went through. Talk about the journey that it took you to get to where you're at, and then be providing value on top of that. And they're going to see all of that and go, wow, I'm getting so much from this guy for free. What am I, or girl for free? I shouldn't, sorry. I'm getting so much from this guy or girl for free. What am I going to get when I actually pay for him? Yeah. What am I going to get when I actually buy his course? What am I actually going to get when I buy her product, or when I buy her service, or when I go and do any of those things? And so when you come from that place, especially as we go now, it's becoming to be a more and more and more and more of basically provide value or die is basically the way the marketplace is turning, especially in Facebook and most platforms. You have to have, there has to be a reason, right? If there's a million fitness trainers out there, why are they going to come to you over going to Bob down the road, right? And so how do we separate ourselves from them?
Get on Facebook. That's how you do it.
Well, one, get on Facebook. Two, provide way more value than anyone else on Facebook, so that when they see all of that, they go, this guy's providing me the most for free. This is the guy I want to learn from, right? And want to go. It's not that you give everything away for free. You still could do in charge, and I think you're doing.
And even with that, you're still building such an audience that there's so many ways you can leverage it in the future.
Yep.
right? All of a sudden, you become an affiliate for a supplement company,
a greens product,
right?
or whatever.
Or whatever. Now you can start cranking on that.
Subtle plug.
Yeah.
For the future.
Yeah, subtle. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can leverage it, right? And it's like all of a sudden, maybe now you wear this sick new fitness gear, right?
Absolutely.
And now you get an affiliate link, and it's like, yeah, you guys want to look cool like me and train hard like me. Maybe you don't want to buy my course right now, but you might as well buy some of these badass shorts.
Yeah.
And now you've created this great audience because you provided so much value, and these people like, know, and trust you so much.
Yep.
They're like, fuck yeah.
Yep. So there's a lot of pieces to this, right? When you're creating content with the expectation of how do I serve the most amount of people, right? Especially when you look at Facebook as not how do I make the most money. Any business, any advertising, anything. Don't make the mistake that I did, right? Where it's like when I was starting into marketing, I was broke. I was making $9 an hour at a butcher shop. I needed money. I was so stressed about money. I was so worried about it. That's what I focused on, and it showed. It showed in my marketing, showed in my videos, showed in my conversations when I would talk, and that's how I showed up. So that's what and that repels people away right away, right? And so as soon as I shifted to how do I help and serve the most amount of people, you'd be amazed at how much more money you make as a result, and the influence that you build by being able to actually serve it,
and the fulfillment of it all.
That's
huge, dude. That's like dive into that for a long time.
Well, the big and that can go on a whole other part. But like making money, like even if you're at a spot right now where you're not making a lot of money, of course, like money doesn't buy happiness. And I love Bob Proctor's example. It's like money doesn't buy happiness. That's just as ridiculous as saying you can't drive around town on a refrigerator. Like, of course you can't. But money's the biggest stressor in the world. So if you can at least eliminate the stress, have enough money that your bills are paid, food's on the table, you got a little bit extra money in the account, and you're not worried, you've now eliminated the biggest stress in the world. Now, however, once you get there, whether you make more money, like 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month or $1 million a month, you're not going to be more fulfilled. Once you eliminate the stress of money isn't going to bring you happiness. It's going to buy you happiness. You need to be fulfilled. And so one of the most fulfilling things you will do is put out value-based content that people come back to you and they go, oh my fucking God, this one little exercise that you taught me, I went and started working out with it for 6 weeks. I dropped 20 pounds. Thank you so fucking much. I fucking love you. You changed my fucking life.
Yeah, it's power, man. You get those messages, you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden it's like, hey man, because of that thing that you said, it actually made sense to me now, or XYZ, or I did this, or I achieved that, or this is my result now, and thank you. That word, thank you, when it comes from somebody else, it's like, fuck yes.
That makes it,
you know, and that's where a legacy comes from. That's where, like, I think that's true entrepreneurship. True entrepreneurship are people that actually want to make a difference and make a change. They actually want to change the fucking world in some way, shape, or form. Right? I think I heard Scott say that too, and I resonated so deep with it, where it's like, just that's like, you know, it's almost like the purpose of entrepreneurs in a sense, right? Like
it is
making a difference, making a change because you believe in what you're doing.
Absolutely. I love Tom Bilyeu's example where he explains what a billionaire is, and the new term of what a billionaire is. It's not someone who makes $1 billion, it's someone who impacts 1 billion lives.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you look at a business like that, and so if you're a personal fitness trainer, how do you help more people lose weight and help more people gain muscle and change people's lives? Think about how much that builds their confidence, that changes so many different areas of their life.
It's a long-term play too. Even if you want to look at it from a place of just not like, maybe if you don't understand the whole fulfillment side yet, because I didn't when I started.
Yep.
I didn't understand that. I had to learn the hard way too, that money doesn't buy happiness. Right. Yep. That was the process that I went through until I realized the whole fulfillment side and how powerful it is. But even if you look at it from a long-term play, when you come from that place and you come from serving, you're going to be growing in a long-term exponential business rather than looking at it for making that extra buck or making more money and cutting back on costs. I mean, I've seen some great clothing companies come and go since I was a kid that I loved, but then you see how they start cutting costs and cutting quality and raising prices and trying to increase margins. There's always a place for that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do.
Yep.
Right. But now it's coming. When does that line happen? And being aware of, like, when is it coming from a place of just trying to cut it down as much as I can to make as much money as I can, or actually coming from a place of how do I cut it down so I can reach more people and make more of an impact?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And
so it's a long-term play.
It definitely is. It definitely is a balance. If you always come from the place of how do I serve, how do I get my customers to win? How do I make my customers win? how do I serve them the most? How do I serve my audience the most? How do I provide the most amount of value? If you can take that
After
approach,
the sale too.
yeah, yes, great
Not
point.
Just once
yeah,
the sale happens, that's when the sale starts.
That is
after the sale
big
happens.
fucking piece of it, and I see this in all different industries, especially in like affiliate and multi-level marketing, but a lot of places where as soon as like whether it's fitness, it could be selling a fitness course and they buy the fitness course and then they're gone, and you can never hear from. See you later. That's where the sale starts, because the thing is, like, you don't want one-off customers.
No,
you want customers.
And it's going to slowly build you a bad name too.
100%, because they're never going to buy. You want to buy so customers feel so good buying from you because you give them so much value on the front. They bought your course. You were so blown away. The support was there. You had a group maybe that kept continuing and giving them more tips and all this stuff. You kept continually supporting them. So that customer, not only are they going to buy everything you ever put out ever, they're going to be recommending it to your friends. They're going to be like, you got to see this guy. He helped me shed off 20 pounds. He gives away all this for free. He has these awesome courses, all these different things. But it's always coming from, like, again, yes, the sale doesn't start once you generate the first sale. That's where it really doesn't end.
Stop.
Sorry, it doesn't stop. It starts there, right? And so always coming from a place of value. I know we're basically going in again to like fundamental principles, and this applies to everything, not just Facebook.
Absolutely.
But we're starting with Facebook. The reason why is because it's like, if you're not marketing yet, get on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get on Facebook. Be providing value on there. Boost your content. So boost value-based content. Don't look to like throw a right hook in your first $50, right? In your first $50, be value. And personal philosophies, personal stories, why you started from the beginning. Allow people to build rapport. Like, you want to build rapport with people. You want to show them that you are someone that they should like, know, and trust. You want to be providing like tips and strategies and techniques that they can be doing, and really going from that pace, so that when later on, when you do throw a right hook,
their wallet's already out.
They want it. They've been begging for it by that point. Right, and so it's more of a long-term play, of course, than just going straight for the sale. If you go straight for a sale right now, it's going to be you can't do it. Like, soon you're not going to be able to do. It's already becoming harder and harder, and your costs are going higher and higher, and a lot of people can't even afford to do it. And so it's going to be more of a platform, and it's getting more in this, where we need to be providing more and more and more and more value on the front, and retargeting the audience that interacts. So when we say retargeting, for those of you guys that don't understand what that means, because we've said it a few times and we're just assuming you know.
So basically, an example that comes to my head, I walk into Jang's store, offline store, and as soon as I walked in, I get a shot in the neck with a dart, and it's got a tracker on it. And now Jang knows everywhere that I'm going and every place that I go, because he looks at his phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, Aaron's, what you doing over there?"
And I can serve him videos whenever I want.
Oh, he's over at the East Side store, so let's go over there and say hi to him, right? So it's being able to capture somebody. So it's essentially they do something, they take a specific action, they show some sort of interest in whatever you have laid out, and then you're able to take that audience that was created. So take that person, essentially, put them into a bucket, and then start putting other advertisements and putting it in front of their face.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. So you're basically, instead of at first, you're not retargeting. At first, you're using Facebook's
algorithm,
audience algorithm to find an audience, right? And then based on who interacts with your video, who interacts with your stuff, you can now retarget people that have already interacted. So now Facebook's going to give you a cheaper cost now, because you're not using them to create that audience. You now already created your own audience based on people that have interacted on there. So you're actually going to get a cheaper cost when you follow back up with those people. Yeah. And one of the stats too that Mark throws out, and if you guys haven't followed Mark Lackbay, go and check him out as well on Facebook. So one of the things that he talks about too, from content versus ads, with a content piece, content meaning like value-based, there's no pitch, there's no way for them to purchase or buy a product or anything, just value-based. You'll reach 10 times as many people as an ad.
Absolutely.
Just on there alone. So it's having the balance, right, of doing more value-based stuff, and then retargeting those people that interact with it with more value-based stuff, and then eventually giving them an opportunity to be able to purchase your product or to be able to subscribe to your service or whatever it might be. And so that being one of the biggest things, and as we continue moving forward in Facebook, it's going to be more and more and more geared towards value again. And as they keep going, so they want to keep people. Let's go back to, they want to keep people on Facebook as long as possible, and they want people to have a great time. So
yeah, think that you have your company. It's no different than an offline company, right?
Yeah.
Like I used that example in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. You're sitting there and you have a clothing company. Yeah. And you have two different types of clients.
Yeah.
One client's coming into your door, and so you think about this from, so we'll put yourself in that situation, that space. You own a clothing company offline. You have this client walk in. There's this total spectrum. So this one guy comes in, and he pays you money, right? And he gives you money. He buys your stuff. And as soon as he walks out of the store and he goes to the external marketplace, he starts talking shit about your store, about your staff, how they're not helpful. He doesn't wear the clothes like how they're designed. He's wearing them at work, and they're actually not a work clothes. They're a casual style clothing. He puts holes in them, burns holes in them, treats them like shit. But he still pays you, so you're getting a monetary benefit from him, right? And then you have the other client that comes in, doesn't really buy anything, gets all the free stickers, free lanyards, shows up to the open house, and eats all the free hot dogs and shit, talks all your customers' ears off and everything. And you don't gain a monetary value from that person. But then when he leaves, he's like, man, this clothing company is the best. He's got his sticker on his skateboards. They're on the back of his truck. He has it on his laptop. And you're not gaining a direct monetary value from this person, but he loves your brand and he loves your company, right? Now, think of that from, like, what client would you rather have in the big picture? The guy that pays you money up front, or the one that's talking really good about your company? Well, that guy's going to be bringing you such a much way bigger audience.
It's like, right? One customer versus the potentially hundreds of customers that come from that
one guy's bringing in. So think of it from Facebook's perspective, right? Facebook being the clothing store and having clients walk in. So they have clients that are on their platform that don't spend money, but they're there and they're on the platform and they're absorbing the content and soaking it all in. And then they have somebody that jumps in and they decide they're going to start up their business on Facebook, and they're giving Facebook money, but they're not providing value to Facebook's marketplace.
Yep. Yeah.
So Facebook's going to be like, fuck you. We're going to make sure this costs you a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because we don't want your shit on our platform, because it's not keeping our marketplace, our customers, the big picture on the platform. We would rather have somebody that's bringing value to the marketplace. So if you can make Facebook happy because their audience is happy,
yep.
Now all of a sudden they're going to favor you. They're going to be giving you cheap costs. They're going to be sending your stuff out everywhere,
yep.
making it go viral for you.
Yep.
And then it's like sick. And then you run a call to action advertisement. You actually have something that asks the customer to purchase something or sign up for something or XYZ.
Yep.
They're going to be like, yep, here you go. Here's your audience. Give her.
Absolutely.
You're keeping people on our platform. You're providing value to them. They want to stay.
Absolutely. And I think that brings up a really good point in one of the parts on Facebook that we actually just became familiar with. And to this point, now, depending on when you're listening to this, is going to be dictating that. So right now it's October, what is it? 9th, 2018. And so one of the biggest things is Facebook has a point system that we've just found out. And so if we were to look at this, basically every like on, so say on your fan page, every like on your, so say you put a post up, every like on the post gives you 1 point. Every comment gives you 7 points. Every share gives you 14 points. Now, where it gets hairy is every dislike gives you minus 100. Every I don't want to see this ad gives you minus 100, right? So you could be doing the greatest things ever and someone just doesn't like you. Literally, like someone just doesn't like you and they go disliking, they go tell all their friends to dislike. That can literally get your ad account shut down because people are having a bad time on your page or on your post.
Bad experience.
Bad experience, right?
But they also have a factor in now as well that they can see those people that are just being malicious and just being assholes because they're assholes.
Yep.
And they just see things, even though it has nothing to do with the ad or the value or anything. They're just like dislike, and it creates an algorithm around that person's page, so they'll actually take that into account as well.
So
it doesn't defeat the fact that.
So this is perfect. So keep that first point in mind, right? Now, second point that comes into this is now they have, before, a dislike was a dislike. That was it. right? Now you basically, every person kind of has whatever you want to call it, a relevancy score or whatever you want to say. They have a score. If they just fucking dislike on everyone's shit, it's not going to be as valued as someone that likes everyone's stuff, but then every once in a while actually dislikes. So it's an actual dislike, right? They're going to value that more and give that more weight than they are to be someone that's being a dickhead that's going to go do that. And so basically why I'm saying this is like, again, coming back to providing a great experience on Facebook. Now, how do we keep people on the platform as much as possible? Biggest things that are people, like if you look at it, and a good way to gauge this is when you go on Facebook, what do you stop at a lot of the time, right? So for me anyways, I watch a lot of videos if I'm on there. And as soon as I get into videos and I got into like the suggested feed,
the vortex,
I'm in there, bro. And
vortex.
I'm fucking in there, dude. So for me, videos is a big piece. And I really think that you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not doing videos. From written, I'm not saying don't write posts. I think the combination of both.
Yep.
I think having written and having videos. But I think if you don't do one or the other, I think you're leaving a lot of money on the table. You're leaving a lot of rapport that you could be building on the table. Because when you look at people, like for me, I don't build as much rapport just by reading something. But when I see someone, I see how they talk and how they communicate and how what they're teaching on, and I can see their face and their, I build a lot more rapport with them just based on that. So one, that, two, making sure that you're doing like live videos. And
that's huge,
dude. I think right now, what is it? At least one a week.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember the actual number, but I mean, minimum one a week, I think. Probably two a week would be a better idea.
So minimum doing one live video a week. It doesn't mean you have to be on there for an hour, but at least doing one live a week. And if you're going to overachieve, if you're going to go the extra mile, do two at least. But doing at least one, if not two, live videos per week. One, again, if we look at how do we keep people on the platform longer and how do we make sure they have a better time, people love being able to be on live and be able to ask you questions and get answers. They love it.
It's raw. It's real. Facebook favors that so much because it's like, this guy's out there. It's real. It's unscripted. Shit's going down. So they're like, okay, let's build an audience for this person. And they just start sending it out and finding people that want to engage with it.
Yeah. And at first, when you're starting a brand new page and you don't have very many likes, like don't beat yourself up that you don't have a lot of people watching it. When I first started doing live videos,
it's almost an advantage because now it's like
you get to practice.
Yeah. you say something stupid or whatever. You still have the chance once you're done to like not post it if you don't want to. But on the other perspective too, it's nice to have that depending on what type of business you're creating and building. Yeah. I mean, if you're building something from scratch and showing something your journey as an entrepreneur, it's a great way to show and build your story because they're seeing what you started with, who you were from day one to where you went, right?
Absolutely. And what's cool about lives is it can kind of give people the unique experience of being able to see you in the energy of something just happening. So it could be like you're a fitness trainer, you just learned this new workout, and you've been trying it for 2 weeks and it blows you away and you just finished the workout and you immediately pop on a live and you go, holy shit, dude, I've been getting this and this. This is how you do it. Your energy's there, right? Your audience is going to emulate the energy that you have and they're going to feel that like, whoa, they were just doing it. Or your Canvas Cultures, shout out to Josh Tatum and Joey Backus for Canvas Cultures. We got all their artwork all over the house, everywhere. Amazing at what they do. And that's even an amazing business that they run. Maybe we'll even talk about that after. But with them, like say for example, they just got a new art piece. They go live and go, hey, this is a brand new art piece that we just got out. Check this out. It's from this artist. It does this. So before that even gets released, you can kind of let them have this like sneak peek, raw, real kind of vision of seeing. Or you're a street company, like you just getting your hats built. And you're like, dude, these just came in.
They're so sick.
Check them out. They're fucking legit. Yeah. Like whatever it might be. But it's a really cool space to be able to have raw, unedited video, to let them kind of see a little, not that it has to be behind the scenes, but you can give them a behind the scenes feel and like exclusive first access to stuff as it comes right now. Yeah. So very, very big piece in there. Leverage those as much as you can, at least one, if not more per week.
Just making sure that the content that you're putting out, having it as original as possible to you. Yep. Having it native to you, your brand, your company, your business, rather than just sharing everybody else's shit and copy pasting and taking screenshots and posting it. Because it's crazy, actually. there's like fingerprints on all that shit, digital fingerprints.
Yeah.
So like if you went to take a picture of something, right, or took a screenshot off of, seen a great picture and you wanted to claim it as your own, you take a screenshot of it. For one, you can get nailed for copyright, really. But for two, you take a screenshot and you post it. Every single time you'll get way less reach, way less engagement, because there's an actual fingerprint of that photo, right, somewhere out there, and they find it and they're like, yeah, it's not new.
Yeah.
But if it's something raw, new, nobody's ever seen it, it's never been on the internet yet, it's a video that you edited, it's a photo that you took, or it's a go live that you're doing. I mean, you can't cheat go lives, right?
Yeah.
So that's why they're favored so well. But now when you keep it original, that's where it really starts to cultivate and grow, and they start spreading it out there because it's something new. They want to see who likes it.
Yep.
Because they're like, let's leverage this person's content to keep our people on the platform.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and one other piece I might even, just to touch on the power, because we did mention canvas cultures, like just to even further, like, I really want to add to the assigned meaning that you guys have to why Facebook is so powerful, that if you're not on it already, or if you're not already, like, during this podcast setting up your Facebook fan page, if you don't have it yet. For example, right, you look at, so my buddy Josh, who owns Canvas Cultures, he started with a company, I won't say their name, and he started with a company, and basically they were doing, a few thousand a month or whatever. He was a Facebook ad specialist. He kind of came in, he did a couple adjustments, he did a couple different things, and he was able to go through and take that business. And within 2 months, like, this is what's crazy, within 2 months, he goes from a few thousand a month, or 4,000 or 5,000 or whatever it is, to $847,000 in 2 months. Right? Insane.
The scalability,
insane, right? Now he owns his own company where he creates his own ones with another partner, and they do, I think they did like $3 million in their first 6 months, all selling canvases on there. And if you're looking for motivational, inspirational type canvases and stuff, go check out Canvas Cultures, check out their fan page, check out their site. They got some super legit one. Like, I have them all over my house because I love, it just motivates me. Like, unlimited cash flow, get shit done. $1 million isn't cool. What is cool? $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at don't deposit excuses. Like, I got it all over everywhere, right? So everywhere I'm looking, I'm constantly, like, motivating myself. But it's just such a powerful platform to use. So as we're going through, so lives being a big part, videos being a big part, the importance of communicating your why you started,
story,
showing that, being vulnerable, sharing your experiences, how you got to where you are, being vulnerable in your whole, like, showing everything, laying it all out, letting people like, know and trust you, not just showing the unicorns and fucking rainbows, showing the shit that you went through, how you got to where you are, right? Live videos being a great thing to be able to show some raw, uncut footage. Is our video done here?
Yeah.
It was out?
Yeah. It's out.
Oh, man, the card's done.
Ran out of space.
It's all good.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
for this part, the video's done. And
yeah,
the
but
only
then people
get...
can just imagine what we're doing, right? They can just picture it. Because right now, they can't see me just flexing, shirt off, showing that new workout that I did that I'm going to start talking about because I'm starting a fitness company here.
Yeah. So basically,
values.
since the video's done, it's just for you guys listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
exclusive
for you guys. So with that being said, I think we touched on quite a bit there. We can obviously go a lot deeper on this, and we could sit here talking for a few hours. I think there's quite a bit for you to chunk on, for you guys to chew on there, and really get going on. And we'll get more advanced as we go. We wanted to make sure, obviously, we cover all the bases. We don't leave any gaps. We make sure we go there. So one big thing to take away from this is one, if you're not on Facebook already, get on Facebook, get a fan page up, leverage live content, put out value on there. Don't, jab, and do multiple jabs before you go in for a right hook. So make sure that you're providing a ton of value on the marketplace. Retarget those people that are engaging and that are watching 25% or 50% of your video views, and retarget them with more value-based content, and then eventually an offer or an ask after that. But I think that's a good place to start, and we can go a lot deeper. And so we'll love to look at a lot of your guys' feedback, a lot of your guys' takeaways that you got from here. We will be going a lot deeper. If there's certain subjects that you guys want to be able to touch on, please do let us know. And as we go through as well inside of the Facebook group, if you pop in there, make sure that when you're popping in there and there's maybe specific subjects or specific topics on Facebook or whatever it might be, since this one we were talking about Facebook, if there's certain strategies or certain ideas or questions or whatever, please pop those into the group, and we'll be sure to either incorporate those in one of the next upcoming podcasts, or we'll shoot a specific video inside of the group, or we'll go live in there maybe and answer some questions just from that point as we go moving forward.
Yeah, man. I want to leave it with one little point on the Facebook side of things too. There's going to be how does it go? You know this one. There's going to be two types of businesses in the future soon. There's going to be businesses that create technology, and there's going to be businesses that leverage technology. Being straight up with Facebook. So if you're in business right now and you're not leveraging social media platforms, get on that shit.
Adapt or die.
Yep.